This is breaking news from the Las Vegas Review-Journal, sponsored by Michael Gaughan's South Point Hotel, Casino, and Spa.
Crosby was elected captain of the defense. On offense, Geno Smith was elected captain, and A.J. Cole was elected captain for special teams. So we're proud of those guys. They have been leading since the moment we got here, and they're exactly the right guys. Obviously, these guys voted them almost unanimously. So really proud to represent our club with those guys.
With that kind of process, was it something that you let the players sort of vote on it? How was sort of your process?
Yeah, it's just a democratic process. You get to vote for whoever you want to vote for. No redlining.
How exciting are you after a year off and be back in the game planning mode?
Yeah, I don't know how to measure how excited I am, but this has just been so much fun, really, to get into this with this club and this ownership, and with all the challenge that goes along with that, able to create our own roster with all that freedom that we got. Johnny and I really feel great about the process that we've gone through. We continue to compete to add to it. But it's worked out really well, and it represents the hard work that we put in. It represents the time. It represents the culture and philosophy that we're standing for. We added a lot of really physical, tough guys, tough-minded guys, really competitive people, and that's only going to make you better. So it's really been fun, and we get a couple days, and then we're ready to rock and roll into the game plan. So it's really good.
How valuable is a week like this for you and for the players in a sense of rebooting, and now you can really focus and hone in on the 53?
Yeah, we've been pointing to this is a bonus week for us as we talked about it, and we wanted to make it through it healthy, which we did, and so that we can take a break with really clear mind that we're ready to go. It feels like that. We'll come back on Monday and kick it into high gear, but we won't be changing anything because we already try to practice as hard as we can every day, and with all the effort that we can muster and the intensity that we can generate. So nothing's really going to change, but it feels great to be at this point because we're trying to get to these games, and it's finally here.
Well, you remember the old days when you would play 6 exhibition games,
yeah, really,
and then go right into the regular season with no time to reassess or reset things.
Yeah, well, that's called evolution.
How much advantage is that for you?
That's evolution. That was nasty, back in the day, and all of the changes that have come about really are very much more thoughtful and directed at giving the players the best chance to be at their best. Back in the day, we just wore them out and then started playing, and so everybody was kind of in the dark ages back then. So, but this is good. This is a good process for them. We're kind of used to the rhythm of it, and also that hopefully the players will take advantage of it. Really, urge them to make good decisions on these next 4 days and get back here healthy and feeling good and early and no issues, no problems, so we can hit at full speed.
You mentioned coming out of training camp really healthy. How helpful has Alex Guerrero been in that process coming in this offseason?
All I can tell you is we're pretty darn healthy right now, and we're very fortunate to be that way. And I don't remember. We have 2 guys that are banged up right now, so we feel very fortunate to be in that situation. There's a lot of clubs that would do anything to be there.
Now that you're through the process of selecting the roster, I guess 70, not 53 really, but what are the characteristics of the roster? What do you like about the roster that you have?
Well, what I like about it is we have a lot of guys that have come here on a personal mission to prove that they deserve to be here. And there's a bunch of chips on those shoulders now. I mean, these guys got something to prove. I feel the same way, and we've shared that kind of mentality, going through it. And I really like going to battle with these guys because of where their head's at, and they've proven it on the practice field and as we've worked. And now it's time to go. But it feels that there's a commonality about that, and I see it particularly on the defensive side.
Amari Cooper said you played a big role in recruiting him. I guess what was it that you saw in him? What did you like about him that you wanted to come here?
Well, he's been a great player. He's been a great performer. He's made a ton of big plays and big situations. It's not beyond his scope to come up and make the clutch play at the right time. He's big and strong, runs fantastic routes, and has always been a playmaker, So we thought a chance to add a guy like that with experience really to help our young guys might really suit us well. And so for Dante on the outside, they'll be doing a lot of the same stuff. I think Amari's way can affect him and help him come along. There's a lot of pressure for him to only be the only X over there that we're kind of going with, and so I think this really balances us out well, and I hope it really suits Jack and Dante.
You guys waived Thayer Mumford. You brought in Stone Forsythe. You obviously drafted him in Seattle. What do you see from him moving forward?
Stone's a legit right tackle. He's played on the left side as well, and I saw him late in preseason doing swinging. But he's a real physical, tough guy. You know, you can't get any bigger. He's 6'8", but he's got a great mentality about it. That's why we picked him, but then we learned who he was and what he was all about. So when we had a chance to get him, we had to do what it took. And fortunately, he's with us. So he'll play right tackle, but he could well swing in games if we needed him to.
Richard Max and AJ as captains. You also have Daniel and Fulton Miller have been around since the Oakland days. What does it mean to have like a foundation of guys like that know the culture, know the building, know the organization to kind of lead the way?
Well, the culture's a little different now, and it's changed. But those guys bring us the history, and they bring us the connection, And this has been an incredible franchise for years. I mean, tons of years. And I go way back knowing that. And so for us to bring in our new way of looking at things to complement what has already been created here in the past, and to have those guys in exactly the points you're making is crucial. Colton has had a great camp, and he's had a great offseason. And I'm thrilled about the way he's performed and how he's come out of it healthy and ready to go, and he's battled every day. He hasn't missed a thing. So Max has been hugely important. There's something about, the history in this particular situation of carrying the pain. It hasn't been good. It hasn't been what they want. And so they're as hungry as you can get. They're hungry as the guys coming in with the big chips on their shoulders. And we have had just no issues connecting, and what we're all about, how we want to go, how we want to do this. And it really, a lot of gratitude to those guys for helping that happen, because they could have, been clinging on to the old ways, and they have not been like that. They've been wide open from the start.
Would you characterize Kenny Pickett as having a chip on his shoulder?
Well, anybody's been traded as much as he has. That chip, that he carries that chip. I think he's got a traveling bag with it. He made a really good first impression out here. Really comfortable. Has picked stuff up amazingly fast for all of the systems he's been through. You'd think his brain could be all jumbled up, but really good learner. Good athletically out here, threw the ball really well. He's not even full speed yet. We haven't really let him take off and go because we want to save him through these next 4 days and get into game week. But really big first impression, and he seems to fit in well.
Pete, is there anything different about this version of yourself as a coach heading into your first regular season game as a Raider compared to your first game as a Seahawk, USC?
I'd have to ask me about that. There's a lot of similarities. The rhythm of putting the team together, implanting the way we think and the way we operate, and what's behind the philosophy and all of that, very similar. But because of where I am in my career, looking at this is like it's just such a joyful opportunity to me. I'm thrilled to be part of this place and in the position where it looks like all odds are against you, and all that kind of stuff. I mean, nothing wrong with that to me. The division we play in, I'm thrilled to be playing against the coaches that are in this division. I have so much respect for them, which that's no big deal because obviously they've earned that over the years. But it just makes it a little bit sweeter, Yeah, I really don't feel that much different, but yet there's some things that through the evolving of this last year that made a difference in the way I see things, and I've been able to implement and institute some things that I hadn't done before that I'm really excited about seeing the results. We'll see what happens, but the newness is the same. The new feeling about a new program and a new culture and all of that is the same, and we reached the point probably with the meeting we had this morning that we've kind of covered all the bases, and so we're ready to go.
What do you like about Brennan Jackson, what he brings to the Raiders?
Yeah, he's really physical and tough guy. We're really impressed with his motor chasing the football, coming off the edge. He was effective in the running game and the passing game, but he just really, it's his mentality. He adds to the mentality that we're trying to instill in the whole club, and I think that he'll find it very comfortable with the mentality that we're asking for. Hard, tough, every day, grind it out. And I think he's going to be a nice fit for us. We'll see. I saw him one time, so I don't know.
Coach, when you evaluate the roster, obviously that secondary is probably the youngest group that you have on your team. Can you talk about the blessing and the curse of having a secondary that young, and how much of a role do you think Jeremy Chin will help with leading them?
I appreciate you giving me the choice, the blessing or the curse. I'm going with the blessing, if you don't mind. I'm excited about this group now. We're athletic and really fast. Everybody's attentive and tuned in. Nobody has any big agendas. This is a group that's really wired well, and there's a lot to teach and a lot to learn, particularly when you have real young corners. There's a lot for them to pick up in a short amount of time. So there's a challenge to that. And so we're going to try to take care of them and help them in the ways they need, and so that they can get off to a good start and we can build their confidence as we go. It's hard to be confident until you've really gone through it, and so that's the problem with playing rookies. I've never had an issue with that. I've always played young guys and helped them make it through it, and we'll do much of the same with our guys now. I think East Oaks has done a really good, solid job of jumping in and owning his spot. Jeremy has given us real stability, and really Isaiah has done a fine job of just picking up, taking this next step in his career. He has a lot of opportunity to be in a leadership position on the back end and making calls and all of that, and he's done really well. We've got really good competition over there on the other side, and we'll see how that works out by the end of the week, but we'll keep it going, and a number of guys will play in the game. You'll see a lot of guys will be rolling through there.
All right, guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You've been watching breaking news from the Las Vegas Review-Journal, sponsored by Michael Gaughan's South Point Hotel, Casino, and Spa.